Good morning. Welcome to Cooking with Coastie. I am Culinary Specialist Chief Joshua Corbett, and today I'll be making whole wheat rolls. If you can see, I got my mise en place in front of me. I'm going to be using the straight dough method for mixing these rolls. So really easy. You're on the ship. Just put everything in the mixer bowl and let it go. So I'm just going to add my sugar, salt, and your non-fat dry milk into your mixing bowl. Then we're going to add our flour. I got my whole wheat flour and my white bread flour on top. And then I'm going to add my yeast, my shortening, and my butter. I have a little extra water in my measuring cup and a little extra flour to work with. Depending on my consistency of my dough, I might need to add water or flour. I don't want it too wet and I do not want it too dry. So go ahead and start off, add about half of your water. And we're just going to stir that for a minute or two to get a good look at our consistency and see if we need to adjust it from there. Help this out a little bit. I'm use my high heat spatula and help get this incorporated a little bit quicker. Okay, as you can see, our dough is a little dry still. It's not quite pulling away from the sides. I'm just going to add a little bit more water to that. You'll see with that addition to water, your dough starts to pull away from the sides. Give it a little helping hand. Okay, so once you get the consistency that you want, not too wet or not too dry, you're going to crank up your mixer to speed 2. Just depends on what model of mixer you're using. You don't want it too high. Want about a medium low speed. You're going to mix it for 10 minutes. Alright, you're trying to build up that gluten inside your flour, and once it goes for 10 minutes, I will show you how to do the gluten test, to test for the gluten development. Alright, so my dough's been mixing for 10 to 12 minutes to get that gluten developed. Now I'm going to do a test. As you can see, it's pulled away from the sides. It doesn't look too dry, it doesn't look too wet, so let's go ahead and test that gluten development. Just want to pull a little sample out. Just going to round it in my hand. And I'm going to pull it, try to make a window. If I'm able to stretch this and somewhat see-through, it should be a little translucent. And without tearing, that'll let me know that my gluten is starting to develop. It's giving it some structure. And it's going to start holding in that carbon dioxide gas when it starts to ferment and when you proof it and when you finally bake it. I'm going to stick it in my third pan. Make sure you spray your pan that you put it in. Just a little oil. And if you don't have a proof box like we do here, just find a nice warm place in your galley. So your bread, once you start to ferment it at 80 degrees, it should take about an hour and a half for it to double in size. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the proof box at this time. So as you can see, our dough, after we fermented it, it's definitely doubled in size. It took about an hour. The next step that I'll show you is folding or punching. Punching is not hitting the dough with your fist. It's a method of deflating the dough that expels carbon dioxide, redistributes the yeast for further growth, relaxes the gluten, and equalizes the temperature throughout the dough. So I'll just take that out, deflate it. Alright, next step that I'm going to go for, I'm going to scale the dough into 1 pound pieces. And I'm going to set those back in my pan, covered so they don't develop a crust. And I'm going to let the gluten rest for 10 to 20 minutes so they're easier to roll out. Use a bench scraper for this. And once you got your dough scaled out, we're going to put that on our sheet pan. Cover those with some plastic wrap. You want to develop a crust on the top of them. Start developing a crust because the air hitting them. You're going to have a crust. It's going to be undesirable. So once you have your dough scaled out, it's rounded, and you benched it for 10 to 20 minutes, we're going to start making up your rolls. I got them in 1 pound dough balls. Now I'm going to start cutting these. It's about 1 inch portions. I'm just going to shape this into a square so I can get some even cuts out of this. I don't want to take too many of these out at the same time. As air starts getting to the rest of my dough, it's going to start getting that crust on it. Alright, that's about 1 inch. Once you cut a couple of these, you get really good at it. Cutting a bunch of these out in no time. First roll, we're going to roll out just a basic Parker House roll. I'm just going to tuck my fingertips underneath the piece of dough. I'm going to get that seam on the bottom. I don't want that seam on top, or else you're going to end up with a burst of crust on your roll. Alright, so a little technique, shape it, round it, and there you go, real quick. Alright, there you go. So we got some Parker House rolls there. Show you another one. We'll do some knots. Same thing. I'm gonna shape these in about 1 inch pieces. Alright, so I'm gonna do some knots. Just gonna roll your dough out like so, about that long. Just gonna tuck it around and up and try to make it look pretty. Alright, so next roll, show you figure 8. It's about the same way we did the knots. Just a little extra to them. Roll it out. That end over that end. Bring it around, and then through your hole. Next thing I can show you is pan loaves. Just need to use a muffin pan. We'll just spray that. And we can do the same proportion, 1 ounce on your rolls. And I'm just going to drop those in there, come out with a little different shape. Alright, so butterflake rolls. I'm going to roll this out, I'm going to flatten it. Use my rolling pin. Just going to get this the same consistency all the way across. I'm going to form a rectangle. Or more of a square. Next, you're going to brush this with butter, and then I'm going to show you how to cut them. Okay, got a little honey butter that I made. Just coat the entire surface. I got a pastry cutter. You got a pizza cutter, same thing. I'm going to cut these to about 1 inch wide. Okay. Alright, next up, we're just going to stack these. I'm going to go ahead and go 3 high on these. I don't want to get too high and it starts falling over on you. Alright, now you just come back along the top and cut these about 1.5 inches long. Take these and just drop those into my muffin tins. Got a couple different rolls going there. So I'm going to put these back in the proof box. I've sprayed them with some pan spray just so they don't get, the air doesn't get to them as they're sitting out right here. But those are going to go back in your proof box at 70 to 80% humidity at 80 to 85 degrees. They're going to double in size, so about an hour in the proof box. So as you can see, our rolls have doubled in size. That's what you're looking for once you put them in the proof box. Again, if you don't have a proof box available, just find a warm spot in your galley. I've sprayed some pan spray on top of them, that way they don't dry out and get the crust on them. That would be undesirable. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in my 400-degree convection oven, and we're going to cook those until they are golden brown in color. Okay, so you see the rolls, we got some golden brown going on them. I'm going to take my honey butter and just go ahead and put that on there. Get a little flavor, nice little color going. So there we got it. Same recipe for the wheat rolls, just a couple different variations on how to form them up depending on your occasion and what you want your rolls to look like. Alright, so there you go. Hope this was helpful. I know that bread recipes and making rolls kind of hard underway. You got all sorts of different variations and things that can happen to your flour. Going down south, it absorbs a lot of moisture and the humidity. Going up north in Bering Sea, it's really cold, so you might need to pay attention to those temperatures either places you go. So, like I said, your dough, let's make sure you're doing it. It's not too wet, it's not too dry. That's all I got. Hopefully the video was helpful.